I'm going to pass you the ball here because while we slave away to bring as much content as we can, I was not able to get to industry this week, which just so happened to drop its last, what, 5 episodes out of the clouds?
So exactly, industry HBO on HBO hashtag industry HBO uh, came out of nowhere, being like, "Hey, we're going to drop the last 5 episodes on HBO Max. We'll still be running each episode week to week, you know, native premium cable programming on HBO if you like. But the whole thing's on HBO Max, and I guess their reasoning makes a little sense. Like, I just justify or amplify viewership during the holiday weekend. I get it, I guess. But yeah, it was unplanned for us to have to finish Industry all of a sudden, right? But I went through all 8 episodes in total, the remaining five that just came out, took those right at the nose, like many other characters were putting things up their nose throughout the run of the season. And it's, if you look back on our review, we talked about the first 2 episodes when they came out. I don't think a whole lot's changed about my thoughts about the show, having seen the first season. It's it very much is what you get, and I feel like if you like it, if you're hooked from the beginning, you'll probably still be satisfied at the end. The Mickey Down, Conrad K, former finance bankers turned first time showrunners with a little help from Lena Dunham. It feels genuine as a show about investment banking and the high stakes, high stress, ang- anxious world that is, especially for uh, newcomers to the field, which is who we focus on, and Harper remains our main POV, but we stick around with Robert and Yasmin throughout that whole season. And what I really liked from the beginning is stuck through. Has a really rhythmic tension to it. It doesn't hold your hand about tons of financial jargon that sounds like it's real and accurate, but it's you don't actually know unless you're a finance pro. But the point that isn't the point. The point is that thematically, that tension makes sense, and you understand the stakes of what these characters are going through, even if the types of trades they're processing don't actually make a lot of sense if that's not your world. And I think the arc we kind of knew what the arc was going to be, right? These new graduates at this firm peer point, they're building up until the RIF happens, the reduction in force, when they have to prove that they're worthy of sticking around and being given full time positions, right? And so like it's a very straightforward season in that regard, but I really like the energy the whole time. You were watching, I think, a lot of good performers, most of which I had never seen before. Uh, yeah, I think give good performances. Again, the themes are really well communicated. There's a lot of sex. There's a lot of drugs. It seems like they're having a lot of fun, and even when they're not having fun, they're having a hard time. It always feels earned, and like it's still hard to look away from. So definitely hoping they commission a second season of Industry on HBO. We have no formal word one way or the other at this time, but I really like the run, and I think there's a scene probably in episode 3 or 4 where Ted Leung's Eric and Harper are talking, and that relationship as Harper's become under the wing of Eric, who's a kind of runs that desk at the firm, and he kind of highlights why he uh, is taking time out to like mentor Harper, and obviously it starts with her talent, which is exemplified early on in the show. But he also kind of gets into the what I was hoping the show would touch on, which is the struggle and the pressure that both of them feel as minorities in a
Mm.
workplace setting like this, and that conversation comes back up in a different way towards the end of the season, and you see the tension with Harper, right, where it's like you have this character who's put his neck out for her in a certain stretch, but also is certainly not without his flaws in the workplace, and having to juggle something like that, and ultimately having to decide where one's loyalties lie. Um, where the show ends, I think, is really ripe for a potential second season. So I really hope we do get it.
I'm looking forward to finishing them. My goal is to finish them by the end of the week. Maybe next week or later on this week we'll do a spoiler review of
Another bump.
Industry. It's definitely a show that's surprised and
Yeah.
it sounds like a perfect kind of HBO show. You know, in terms of you mentioned like all the, like the sex, drugs, like stuff that you wouldn't see on regular cable television, but really having that like solid writing and like just really like fun pace throughout is such a staple of them now.